Hello, everyone, and welcome to the No Application Remote Job Search Strategy. My name is Jordan Carroll, and I'm here to give you 3 action items to get hired remotely. That is the goal of this particular presentation, and I'm excited to jump in. Before we do that, I wanted to explain a little bit more about who I am and why I'm here teaching you and what it is. What is this no application remote job search strategies? First and foremost, again, my name is Jordan Carroll. I'm also known as the remote job coach. I've been remote in my businesses and in different jobs that I've had since 2013. And I've been remote living and working in over 15 countries on 5 different continents. And I really view that remote work saved my life. And when I say that, I mean it's gotten me through some of the worst times of my life in very, very low places, whether that be depression or whether that be financial, whether that be any sort of struggle that I've had in my life. I find that the resourcefulness and the tools and the flexibility and the freedom that remote work has provided me has always been the reason why I've been able to get out of those particular situations. Thousands of different people around the world have also used the methodologies that I'm going to talk about today. So this is not just theory. These are techniques, these are strategies, these methodologies that I've used myself and many, many other people have used successfully as well. But first, what do I mean by no application? What is the no application remote job search strategy? Well, it's looking at your job search and looking at finding remote opportunities as different than just going on job boards and applying. What it's looking at is how can I create a strategy that provides some sort of predictable result? How can I brand myself and articulate myself as a strong candidate for remote opportunities? And how can I network so that I can increase the chances of success throughout the entire process? And how do I target the right people and know what to say? So let me just give you a quick story. When I was first thinking about traveling the world, this was back in 2017, I had decided to look into a company called Remote Year, and actually they targeted me on an Instagram ad. And I found out about Remote Year. They are a travel company. They allow people who work remotely currently to travel the world and go to different countries each month through their programs. So they take care of all the logistics. You pay them a monthly fee. They'll say, hey, we're going to go to Cape Town, then we're going to go to Lisbon, and then we're going to go to Croatia. And they take care of all the accommodations, all the travel, all those different logistical things that remote workers who want to travel have to deal with. When I found out about this company, I was like, I have to work here. Like, it was my number one goal. And throughout the process of me deciding how it is that I would work there, I decided that I'd actually go and do a program. So I did the first 4-month program that they ever offered back in 2018. This was back in March of 2018. And that's me there on the left after that 4-month program, because what I had done on that 4-month program was I networked with various different people at the company at Remote Year. I used a strategy as far as becoming a customer to um, strategically get into line with my target company. And then I also branded myself as competent and as someone who was able to do the job based on how I showed up in the group, in the different types of places that we went. I would do presentations and I would put myself in position to appear very competent at the particular job that I wanted to do. So I told a bunch of people at the company, I want to work at Remote Year. Here's my resume. These are the things. This is the exact role. And by the end of those 4 months, when the job came up, I got a job at Remote Year. I never had to formally apply. So that is really the power of what this strategy can do. And I want to talk about a lot of different mistakes that we see in both strategy, branding, and networking, as well as the solutions to those mistakes, practical examples from clients of mine, and again, give you those 3 action items to go along with those. So let's first start with strategy. What are the mistakes that I see in strategy when people are looking for remote opportunities? Well, one, the very first thing is, whether this is conscious or subconscious, people don't think that they can actually do it. So a mindset of failure. And again, this is a really sneaky thing, because from a subconscious perspective, this could be the wiring that's happening in the back of your mind saying, this isn't possible to have a remote job. I'm from this country. I don't know anybody who has a remote position and travels. I don't know this. I don't know that. And that mindset of failure can be very prevalent without you even realizing that it's there. A second piece is not having clarity or understanding on what it is that you actually want to do. And that may be, I don't know what role I want to do. I don't know what type of company that I want to work for. I don't know the industry that I want to be in. I don't know. And if you don't know, then that's going to be an issue. The third mistake here in the strategy is going on job boards and only going on job boards as your job search strategy. Just going on job boards and looking at what job board gods have for you is a very limiting and very reactive piece of strategy. The last one here is not having um, a way of organizing your search. So things are very messy. You have maybe a bunch of different applications that you send out, but you're not tracking anything. You don't have anywhere to put all the contacts in your particular job search, and everything just seems like really chaotic. So these are the particular mistakes. How do we fix these mistakes one by one? Well, number one is an actual belief of success. This one is one of the toughest, but is one of the first prerequisites that you need to have for success in this particular job search. And that is to see that success can happen. So surrounding yourself with other people who already do this thing, rewiring your beliefs and becoming aware of where it is that you're subconsciously holding yourself back. Journaling, finding ways to just create new neural pathways, to just create new thought processes. And again, that starts with just awareness and a mindset of success that you can actually do it. Number two is clarity on the direction, clarity on what's the ideal lifestyle that you need to live. A lot of people, again, just think about remote, like go on job boards and find a job that does remote. But the issue is that there's a lot of jobs that are remote in a different way, right? So you understanding the lifestyle that you want to live first, and then what type of companies will give you that type of lifestyle, what type of industry you want to be in, and what type of role has to be the first start of this entire process. Because if you don't have that particular clarity, then everything else is going to fall apart for you because you don't even have a place or a vision that you're going towards. Number three is mixing up the strategy of your search, not just going on job boards, but again, considering the strategy, considering how you're branding yourself, and considering how it is that you're connecting with other people that can help you expedite this process and become more successful. The last piece here is organizing your job search. And how you do that is with a job search CRM. CRM is a customer relationship management system. It's typically used in sales organizations. However, I'm going to show you right here, there is a way to track and organize everything that you do in your job search, and that is with an application called Teal HQ. If you use the QR code right here, you can sign up for Teal. It's absolutely free, and with the Chrome extension, you can actually save jobs like this one here into an organizing CRM for your job. So this is a CRM that's specifically made for job seekers, and that's what I love about it. Is it really gives you the ability to track and organize every aspect of your job search, whether that be the jobs that you're interested in saving, whether that is moving them across the Kanban board of whether it's a bookmark job, you've applied to it, you're interviewing, all those different things. Then you can also see the different skills that are located in that particular job. You can track your network in there. You can add target companies. You can add reminders. There's so much that you can do with this tool, even with just the free version, that I do not recommend that you do a job search without a CRM like this. So that is the first major action item of this particular presentation, which is to organize your strategy with Teal HQ. Okay, now let's talk about branding. Number two, what are the branding mistakes that I see in a job search? Well, number one is that people forget that a job search is a direct marketing exercise, and a direct sales exercise. For people who haven't been in sales or marketing before, this may not be something that you really realize, but you are in fact going through that, and you not realizing that can be an issue in the way that you articulate yourself. Number two is you're using your own words to describe yourself. And that, if you've ever called yourself a wizard or a ninja of some sort of technical skill, then that may be what I'm referring to in this particular one. The third one is having not safe for work materials or things that talk about politics or religion or certain things that companies can find about you on the internet that may influence their decision to hire you. The last thing is companies not being able to find anything about you. So when they do that search, nothing actually shows up, and that in itself is a branding mistake as well. What are the solutions? Well, number one is that you and your skills and you as a product are for sale. And what I mean by that is that the companies that are hiring are buying or approaching different types of people to solve their hiring problem, and they will pay money for that, right? So that is a sales transaction. You are marketing yourself and selling yourself to companies that need to solve the issue. You have to look at it from that mindset, because if you're just looking at it from I need a job perspective, you're going to miss out on a lot of the ways that you need to articulate yourself and how a company needs to hear you. And one of the ways is by actually using job descriptions to find specific words and phrases and ways that companies talk, and using those exact phrases, words in your branding, whether that be your LinkedIn, whether that be your resume, or how it is that you communicate during an interview. All those things need to be considered when you're looking at job descriptions, not using your own words. Number 3 is using LinkedIn. So really optimizing your profile, making sure that you are optimized within your headline, within your about, you have a nice picture, you have a banner photo. You're using LinkedIn as an opportunity for your personal brand. LinkedIn is your personal brand landing page. It is the dynamic thing that evolves throughout your career. I think of LinkedIn as a discography. It's got everything, all of your bodies of work on there to be on display for these particular companies that may want to hire you. So it's really important that you optimize it and you consider how it is you can use LinkedIn for all those different things. The last part is, again, finding a creative outlet for you that also showcases your expertise. Now, how that can look is that it can be through videos, through podcasting, through writing blogs, through taking pictures, whatever it is that is your mode of creative expression. It is one of the most underutilized opportunities for job seekers that's out there, is find ways to express yourself creatively that you care about and do it in a way that showcases your expertise. One example of that, again, you go back to job descriptions. You can find job requirements, find things in job descriptions that you can do for a job that you like, use that to create content. And now with all the AI tools out here, you can use ChatGPT to even write some of the scripts or things for you for that make it so much easier. Okay, so let's talk about a LinkedIn headline. So this is the branding example, and the action item here is to take a look at your LinkedIn headline and make improvements based on what I'm going to show you in this QR code. You also have the LinkedIn headline generator, which you can check out for yourself and utilize that. So there is an example here from a client of mine that says project manager, program management, PMP, focused on communicating with client teams and internal stakeholders to meet scope, schedule, and budget requirements to provide business value. So this is a headline from, again, one of my clients, and let's break this down. So one, there is an exact role title. As we went through the different job descriptions that this person wanted to utilize, we noticed that every single job title pretty much was a project manager job title. There was some program manager job titles, but he didn't have exact program manager experience as far as a role, but he has program management skills. So you can either list things as a skill or as a role title. You do want at least one role title there at the beginning, and then I like to have skills afterwards, and those are part of the job description keywords as well. So in the job descriptions that we found and we analyzed, program management was a main part of those, as well as having a PMP, which is a project management certification. Being able to have both of those in the headline is very important. And then let's talk about KPIs and mechanisms. KPI is a key performance indicator. So what is it that people are evaluating? How is it that they're measuring your success? And then what's the mechanism at which you're using to leverage to get to that success? So for this project manager, that was communicating with client teams and internal stakeholders as the mechanism, and then the KPIs was meeting the scope, the schedule, and the budget requirements and providing business value. So again, check out your LinkedIn. You can use the download here to more easily create your own LinkedIn headline that looks awesome and focuses on all these different things. Lastly, here, the networking piece. Networking mistakes that I see, one is that people view networking that is something that only happens at events. It only happens in this one container in which there's a networking event that I'm going to, a conference, whatever it may be, and that's where I network. Number two is that people only utilize the people that are around them, and they just stay within that particular mindset of the people that are directly connected to them. Number three is that they focus on the relationships of what they can get out of relationships. And the last part is a closed mindset and not wanting to expand outside of maybe traditional places, especially if it's online, right? There's a lot of different nuances and kind of weirdness that happens when you're trying to communicate with people online. So what are the solutions to those things? Well, one is that you foundationally understand that networking is your key to everything in life. And it's understanding that networking is just defined as the different interactions that you have with other people in the world. So if you broaden the scope of what networking means, and it's just building relationships with people, and it can happen anywhere, and it's the key to everything, then you really have a mindset that changes along with that. Number two is really leveraging weak ties. So getting outside of just the people that you know, but asking those people to introduce you to people outside of them. Weak ties is a concept where if you look on LinkedIn, you'll have first connections, second connections, third connections, and so on. Anything after a first connection is a weak tie. And all of the things that you need in your life, again, networking is the key to everything in life, but all the things that you need in life are within your weak ties. So just getting right outside that first degree connection, you can access a lot of different types of people. The third part is giving. Being a giver in your relationships, being someone who focuses on how you can provide value rather than just take, is a really powerful part, because that kind of giving will always come back to you at some point. And what you think of it like a bank, right? As you give in your relationships, you start to build up a balance. And it's not as if you want to look at it as a balance, but I'm just saying that this is what happens with energetically. You give to other people, you eventually have a much better way, a much easier way of asking for something. And then the last part here is not being afraid to expand. Like, expand your horizons into new communities, find new places where you can meet other people, and you're going to do that online and in person to be able to really expand into the new version of yourself that's wanting to do whatever else it is that's in this career change for you. Last exercise here, and this is the action item I want you to take, is called the 5x5x5 technique. Now, if you said, Jordan, I really hated this presentation, it sucked, I don't like your hair, whatever it is that you want to say, just take this one thing away. This is the one thing I want you to take away, because if you can do this, this will change your life. The 5x5x5 technique, which you can also check out this PDF on Networking on LinkedIn, which is absolutely free as well, in the lower right-hand corner. This is a game changer. Now, the first 5 of this technique is leaving 5 thoughtful comments. So basically, going to your LinkedIn feed and filtering that feed to find different content that you can comment on. I prefer commenting on target companies. So you filter in LinkedIn for people that are posting at your target companies, and you leave 5 thoughtful comments. That means it's not like, oh, great post. It's not like, oh, very nice. It's not like, congrats. It's really thoughtful, intentional comments that show your expertise, that show that you care about the person, or you're complimenting the person, and also ask them a question. So that's a formula that I often use. Then you send 5 targeted connections. A lot of times, if you're commenting on a new person's content that you've never interacted with before, you can send them a connection request. But you also want to find other targeted connections, whether they be in groups, whether they be your target companies, or in these different places in which you can be very targeted. And then the last one is irrelevant unfollow. So going through your feed and really cleaning up anybody that should not be there, as far as you don't want to see their content. Because when you go on LinkedIn, you want to see a feed that is directly related to all the different goals that you have. And a lot of times, for someone who's looking for a remote job, the goals that you have are to find people to connect with that can help you get a job. So if there are irrelevant people, what you can do is unfollow them in your LinkedIn feed. It does not mean that you lose connection to them. So you still maintain the people in your network, but you will not see their content anymore. And that's a big distinction, and it's very important. Okay, so the goal at the beginning was to give you 3 action items to get hired remotely. What we did was we went through strategy, and I showed you how to organize your strategy through Teal HQ. We talked about branding when we talked about creating a new LinkedIn headline, which is one of the most important branding pieces of your profile. And then networking, we talked about using the 5x5x5 formula. Every single day, take 15 to 30 minutes to do that 5x5x5. It will revolutionize and change the way that you see the world. You see what's accessible to you, and it's awesome and easy. If you have any questions, you can feel free to submit them to the website here, or I'm at the Remote Job Coach on Instagram, for instance. There's also a bunch of links here. I have a book called Remote for Life that I came up with. There's a bunch of different other resources that are for free as well on this particular QR code. So feel free to go there, check out the other things, and I hope that this presentation has been valuable for you. Thank you.